Get the gun.
My God.
In the
What's on, of course.
It feels like something's going on here tonight. It feels like something's going on here tonight. Baby, tell me that she ready. I'm so lucky, come here. Pull up in my new Chevy.
Hey, leave it to Roy. Hey, to Roy.
Hey.
Come on, man, not the club.
No, my lady say, hold up, play my song. Go ahead, break it down all night long. I'm a player, ain't nothing wrong with the West Side thing, and I got it going on. Shorty get ratchet, but she be poppin' with that.
The success is dope, but it's almost like when you watch a music video, right? And then you see someone with just stacks and stacks and stacks of money, and if you don't got it, you're kind of just like, well, that's dope, but I can't really relate. Versus like when you watch like an EBT boy, then you're like, you're seeing that process.
Yeah.
You're like, damn, I relate to that.
I got a question for you.
You know?
Like when people see you,
Hold on, you shouldn't ask it right now.
Okay.
You should ask
No, we
when
recording, I
we
think.
record.
Yeah, we're starting.
So
We
go
are.
ahead, ask that. We'll start with that. Ask that.
Okay, good.
I was finna say when people see you out like in the city and stuff, like, do you get that vibe like where people be like, oh, what's up, superstar, or oh, what's up, you that rapper, right? Like, do you get that vibe like where it's like almost like they automatically assume you think you're in a higher place than them?
It depends on who I'm talking to, because sometimes I'll talk to kids, sometimes
Right.
I'll talk to the parents of the kids,
Right.
and it's all a different way of like how you carry yourself throughout the conversation with them.
Yeah.
Like today, bro, I went to like this thing down here. I got to chop it up with so many people, and like even the kids, I got to talk to their parents and get a relationship with their parents. But
Yeah.
for the most part, I just no matter how they're treating me or how they're talking to me, because I've had people talk to me like in a positive way, and I've had people talk to me in, I'm not gonna lie, a sort of envious way.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like I brush it off because I just keep it professional.
Yeah.
It's all about being professional, even when like people are like downing you or talking down on you.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah,
It's like keeping it professional is the best way to carry it out, bro.
yeah.
Yep.
That's your
Yep.
code of ethics.
I
right
think though, for me though, as an artist and how I've always been, is like really, like I only show like what I want to be seen, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like, if I want to be seen in a certain way, you know what I'm saying, I'll talk to them like as if, you know what I'm saying, like I'm professional. you know?
Yeah, I could dig that. I could dig that. I mean, in part of it, you kind of get what you give in a certain sense to, as far as like the energy, because somebody could come at you on some funny stuff. If you give them the same energy back, then it'll be like tit for tat.
It's kind of like,
But you keeping it professional, whatever. When they come at you funny,
sometimes people are testing your character.
they could
And
be
they
testing
want you
your
to fall
character,
into
yeah.
this trap to where, okay, I have him in this position or this corner. Let me see what I can get out of him.
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't like to crack. I just like
Yeah.
to just keep it like, so they didn't win. They didn't get what they wanted to see.
Yep. Plus, too, like there's only so much a person could get if you stay on some.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
all about
Like-
understanding the situation and who you're talking to.
Yeah, it's the same way as like if somebody tries to check you on some like trying to be extra hard, if you be like, nah, bro, I ain't about that.
And that's another tip, bro.
It could
That's another
dead
tip.
dead them.
De-escalate immediately.
Dead it in a
Yeah,
minute.
yeah.
How's that for you, bro?
What, like,
Yeah, man. Like how do you feel when folks come up to you and they?
I just try to make everybody understand, like, I'm really from here.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't really see myself as nobody but somebody from here when I'm over here. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Maybe in other places, I walk with a sense of pride. Like, you don't know where I'm from, but where I'm from is dope as hell.
Yeah.
But over here, I try to just stay regular. Like, when people hit me with that, oh, what's up, superstar? I'm like,
You
what's
don't know-
up, bro?
yeah.
I give them that love. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, yeah, like, oh, okay, he from here, though. Like, he not acting superstar,
he ain't
you know?
acting funny.
So, I don't know. Like,
That's
I
what's
feel
up.
what Dezzy was saying, just with the professional tip, too, just, like, on that tip, like, bro, yeah, I really do that professionally, but,
Right.
you're not about to put me in a dulo twist like that to where, you know.
It's like understanding and not just, I'm not talking about like understanding like where you're coming from, but understanding where they're coming from.
Right.
Like that's the main part, that driving factor of a conversation with somebody. Like if I see somebody and they come up to me, it's like, okay, my mind is like super open because I gotta like figure out where they're coming from before I start going in a certain manner.
Especially if like you don't know them and they know who you are. Like
that's always a weird thing.
Yeah.
Because like when we was kids, like and somebody's looking at you for a long time, you're like,
because the environment's taught you
right.
That. Yeah, right.
But then now that we doing music and it's like they'll be like, oh yeah, you're that rapper. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I was at the Fireside one time and like a bunch of like young fools, like some young fools. I know they was probably like from Mesa or something. Or like just that area right there.
Yeah.
And they came up and it was like looking at me and I'm like,
yeah, he was
what
like,
is this?
yeah,
And then they're like,
especially
hey,
at
bro,
the 5-star.
I'm gonna spit you some raps. They start spitting me raps. I'm like, wow. Like it's different now.
But that's when you transcend, man. And
it's crazy.
And I think that's the dope part of it, man. I think Reg, man, for you, because you've been behind the scenes.
Oh yeah.
So like, you've had the opportunity to work with like DJ Quick, Mitchie Slick, E40, Jules Santana. I mean, the list goes on. You know what I mean? So it's like you being the producer, you probably operate different because you've always been like behind the scenes. But like people, I mean, you're everywhere, and people don't even know like who you're connected to in the projects that you've worked on.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I mean, it's even that same kind of thing too. Like, because of the fact that like I actually DJ before even like the production stuff or whatever, like. The people that do know me, it's more people that know me than I know them.
Right.
So it always be a weird situation sometimes if a person comes up because you never know really where the energy is. Right. I just know that like my energy that I give out to the public and give out to people in general is always love. Like I'm never really on no kind of, you know what I'm saying? So then it's only so much that a person could even feed off of to try to give some negative energy to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't run around here having no enemies. I always do good business. I always, like, communicate with people in love. You know what I'm saying? Even if a person irritates me. You know what I'm saying? Like, instead of tripping like I used to be when I was younger, like, I'd be on some, like,
I always say Rec is the alchemist of Oceanside.
and Rec, what part of Oceanside are you from?
I'm from the Mid Valley. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I had man, I was in a conversation with someone yesterday, right? that just wanted to meet, and he was like, man, I want to get what's the culture of like in Oceanside, right? And I was like, bro, man, you ask that question to 10 different people, you're gonna get 10 different answers, depending on what part of the city they came up in, right? So like I was born and raised in Tri-City, so like I understand. This side of College Boulevard, that side of College Boulevard, that side of the 78, one side of Thunder, the other side of Thunder, one side of Marvin and all that, right? But
that gets thick.
Right. But like for yeah, man, for y'all, man, that it's like, how is it being artists and being recognized, right? Like when you're not in the city and then when you come to the city, like what's the culture of Oceanside for you guys from your perspective as far as how you see it? Because we all grew up, I grew up in a different part than y'all grew up in. Yeah. And so it's like, how is that for you, man? Like your perspective as far as like, if someone said, man, what's the culture like in Oceanside? What would you say?
I would say that, what part?
Yeah.
That's what I would start with. And mainly because like Oceanside, like there's just so many different sections and they have different ethnicities that have like, populated that area. It's like certain parts you won't see, you won't see like a Pacific Islander. You won't see a black. You won't see this and that. And it's like you Oceanside is just there's different sections, and how you go about it is like you would explain each one differently.
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of the cats that I grew up with all went to the Boys and Girls Club. Yeah. So like I grew up.
Which
around,
one though?
Yeah. Well, the original Oceanside, the OBC. OBGC. You know what I'm saying?
Talking about Townside?
Yeah. Okay. Right around the corner. So I think that a lot of cats, because back in the day or whatever, like, Samoans, black, Mexican. Everybody just was all like, we were all kids, like
facts.
growing
Right.
up there.
It wasn't even no like.
It wasn't
street
no funk.
thing,
When cats got older,
Yeah.
that's when people started being like more on some. I'm from over here,
Right.
and
like
even
late
though I
middle
know
school,
you,
That was like
going
middle
into high
school, yeah,
late
yeah.
middle school,
Yeah.
going to high school. That's when everybody chose up. At
Exactly.
least for my generation.
It's not that
No,
they
it's the
chose
same-
up.
it's the
People start
same.
telling you, hey, man, before I went, because I went to Lincoln,
Yeah.
my older brother was like, hey, man, I just want to let you know, man, like, you're starting Lincoln tomorrow, like, this is like, this is
Yeah.
where, this is who kicks it here, this is who kicks it there, and I just want,
Yeah.
he was going into El Camino, so he was just telling me,
oh,
like,
he was like
Yeah,
putting you up
no,
on
and,
game.
and so I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, what you mean? And he was like, yeah, I'm just letting you know.
Yeah,
And I was
Yeah.
like, I go to
Same
bed that
way.
night, like, what the
Same
hell?
way,
You know what I mean?
No.
Same way I went to Jefferson and it was
I
kind of
went to
like
Jefferson
it's
too.
just different. It's
Right.
different like politics in each school, and it
Mhm.
goes with like what neighborhoods they're closest to.
Yeah, man.
yep,
Where'd you
Yeah,
go?
like, I went to MLK,
Yeah.
so yeah, it was for us. It was Deep Valley Bloods, Deep Valley
Yep.
Crips.
yeah.
That's what it was. Like
Period.
it wasn't no funk between nobody. But that, I mean, there was essays that went there. But as far at that time that I was in middle school, like some factors from over there had passed away. You know what I mean, on both sides, to where just the tension was high.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was definitely a tricky time, like going to middle school and high school at that time over there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Like that's around the time the cats really started banging for
Yeah.
real. You know
Middle
what I'm saying?
school, yeah,
Like in
like
middle
eighth
school,
grade, yeah.
like you really could tell, like, okay, this nigga is like really on some.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they was choosing sides and really like pushing lines or whatever.
No,
That's
for
the
real.
very first
kids
beginning.
Kids were bringing bandanas to middle school.
for
The
sure.
hats start coming
For
out,
sure.
the different hats.
Oh man, PE locker room.
Yeah.
What? You would go into the bathroom just like it was prison. You know what I'm saying? And catch the fade.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, that's when it was like, okay, this is no longer we just playing intramural sports
Right.
in elementary.
But that's why, like, if you grow up here, man, you're gonna have homies who are pushing that line that you were in
course.
elementary school with. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And you never look at them like, oh, this is so and so from from here, and he's out here, he's active. You're just looking, man, I've
Yeah,
known him since
that's my
kindergarten,
guy.
man. Yeah.
I mean,
you
they'll
know?
talk about it like,
Right.
but it's in a cute way.
Right,
like,
right.
Oh yeah, but when you get to middle school, that's when it starts getting real, and
Yeah.
like people lose their lives, and you're like, man, people start taking sides at that point
Yeah.
because it's like whoever was the closest to you,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
you start to feel away.
And that starts creating problems,
Yeah.
whether you want it or not. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's real, man. I think we've all probably experienced that, where
For
it's just
sure.
like, man, I don't bang, but you kick it with so and so.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like it's a problem. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. What's that like for you, man? Because you've been out of Oceanside for, you know what I mean, like on tour, but traveling and all that. Like, if you had to explain the culture of the city, man, from your perspective to like.
I mean,
different-
from my perspective, it's multicultural because I've lived on the east side, I've lived in the valley, I've lived in the mid, I've lived all over the whole situation. Just like even in church, like just the whole thing. Like I've seen the same church I went to on Saturdays be used for Spanish church. You know what I'm saying? Like, so my perspective is a little bit wider than just gangbanging or anything like that. It's more so just seeing how people move in and out of every section. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would just say it's multicultural over here for real. Like it's a big melting pot. It's a military situation. A lot of people came here either through the military, their families came here as far as like blacks or even Samoans. I hear a lot of Samoan families say, my family came here through the military. Of course, the Hispanic community over here, I mean, it's the area for real.
Yeah.
Like, California is actually Mexico to me. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
For real though.
In a real way. So, I just feel like it's multicultural and it's like a big melting pot of people. Like, my family came here through the military. You know what I'm saying? So, in my perspective, just how I was raised in my family unit and then just in the streets, to me, it's just culture is mixing. Because it's a small city and like you could be on this street and then turn the corner and then it's these people over here. But to me, that just seems so close to where it's just a big melting pot. You know what I'm saying?
And man, like we're all different generations, man.
Oh yeah, for
Like,
sure.
We're all, we're different generations. I mean, you came up in Oceanside's toughest generation, late '80s, early '90s, man. How was that navigating the city with all its different dynamics, like for you during that time, man? I always,
mean,
yeah.
I mean, I was like, you know, I was like 12 years old when I started DJing or whatever. So I was always like the cat that like kind of got along with everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if I didn't get along with you, it was like a personal issue between me and you type of thing. And you know, of course, I was a short dude. You know what I'm saying? So I was fighting all the time or whatever, right? But you know, that is the only thing. That's pretty much like how I gained my, you know what I'm saying, respect. Like people just didn't really mess with me after they realized like I was just, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I was down to scrap with you in a minute if you disrespected me. But then at the exact same time, I'm still the same cat. Like I was always on some positive, like laughing, kicking it. You know what I'm saying? I had homies from every single hood.
It's because you're the producer, bro.
Because
Everybody
I was
wants
the
them
producer.
beats.
Everybody, look,
Everybody
for,
wants them beats.
for real though. Like,
Everybody wants them
Everybody
beats.
like, it was good though.
I was like literally DJing everybody's parties and stuff when I was like I would be going to Oceanside High DJing at everybody's parties from Oceanside, DJing everybody's parties from El Camino.
But you was right on that
You know what I'm
divider
saying?
line for the school district.
Yeah,
too.
exactly. I was in the mid.
mid,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Like so I was always a cat that just kind of got along with everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, and growing up, originally being over here on the east side or whatever, and going to the Boys and Girls Club and all that kind of stuff. Like, I knew all the cats that was way down here,
Right.
that was, you know, all the way up there in the valley or whatever. So then whenever anything got kind of funky, I knew cats from every single area.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I went to Laurel, Mission, Jefferson, Oceanside, you know what I'm saying? But then my best friend at the time, both of my best friends went to El Camino. So then I was like at every single,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, every single spot. So I was kind of like a politicker, you know what I'm saying, that kind of just navigated.
Pretty much what you're saying is you were a popular guy. In
Yeah.
high school. you were the shit.
I did a little something.
What was the Mid
I did a
Valley?
little
What was the
something.
Mid Valley like at that time, man? Because growing up in Oceanside, bro, like I lived in Tri City, right?
Yeah.
So we hit the mid to go. I knew I was in the mid when I was coming down Foodside, and I saw the swap meet. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But it wasn't until I got older that I started going to house parties near Fireside and all that. What was the mid like when you were
Really,
coming up?
bro, like,
Fire.
you know, it was dope. It was dope. Like, I had a good time. Like,
right there.
yeah, you know, all my homies, like, we were just kicking it. Like, I literally lived in every single section of Mid Valley. You know what I'm saying? Like lived in the Timbers, Meadowbrook, multiple times, and then moved to the condos across the street or whatever. I just was like living there pretty much all my life, just bouncing back and forth between the apartment complex. So I knew everybody around there. And then like back in the day, it was so ill. Like on Sundays, like everybody would bring the lowriders to Fireside.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it was just like everybody just out there having functions. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a cool time. Like, of course, because I didn't bang, like I didn't have no problem with like being at the park and niggas tripping on me, you know what I'm saying? Like from either side, you know what I'm saying? Like had a bunch of homies that was Samoan, had a bunch of homies that was from, you know, ICG and everything, you know what I'm saying? Like and everybody was always cool with me, you know what I'm saying? So like I didn't really have no problems. But you know, and the thing about it is like when you're young, you don't really pay attention to dangerous environments, kind of, because it's kind of like fun. Some of that dangerous stuff is exciting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
It's a rush.
you know what I'm saying? And it didn't really. None of it looked dangerous. None of it looked like.
Look like peers.
Yeah. It just looked like, well, that kind of stuff just happens. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was in high school and cats started getting killed and all that. Like, of course, you're like, damn, old boy got killed. Oh, damn, that's crazy. But like, you're still in a mindset like it's
Crazy
kind
thing
of
is,
normal.
but it's not. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I
When
know,
you get
I know.
older, you're
When you
kind of
get
like
older, you start
like-
thinking about that.
But when you're growing up, yeah, it's just like I remember looking up the local news before social media. You would look up like they used to have the North County Times, and I would always go to the local section to see what popped off the night before. Was there a shooting? Somebody get arrested? I remember just looking at that, and I noticed that like where my life was at a certain point, where you go from seeing the local section and be like, oh, I know who that is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To like, oh damn, they got the homie.
Yeah.
that's when you're like, oh, okay, now this is close to home, because it used to be someone that now it's like someone that's in your circle.
Yeah.
You dedicated a whole album to the Mid, bro. Like, you named the album Fireside.
That's
so, like,
ill,
yeah,
yo.
bro. How did you feel about that? Like, when you like,
Oh man, I loved it. Like I was one of the first to get a chance to hear it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
so
he
when I
slid
worked
through.
on that project and I was like deciding the storyline, I had brought it to Rec. I brought it to the studio. I hit Rec. I was like, yo, man, do you have time to sit down and listen to this project I made? It was, I think you're the best person.
Alchemist.
You're the best. You're by far the best person, like, not just like musically inclined, but like just like the area that I'm coming from, like. So
I appreciate
I had to present it to DJ Rec. We went and we sat down in the studio in San Diego.
Yeah.
I met him in San Diego, and we played the project for him. And he listened to the whole thing, bro. And that shit is like, it's a long project. It's a long project, but it was dope to be able to hear some feedback about like the idea behind the project and the meaning behind the project. And somebody like DJ Rec, man,
he was one of the first people to come by Sound Lounge too. Like,
word?
Literally, like, I think we might have opened the studio like maybe just a couple months or something before Dezzy came through. And I was just so excited to hear the project. Like, when you said he wanted to come through and play for him, I was like, hell yeah, like, definitely come through.
You have a song called Neighborhood Music on that album,
Mm-hmm.
and I think one part of it you say Fireside Barbecues, DJ Quick, basketball court, Mitchie Slick, right? And when I think about that, and I think about Rec, bro, like the parallels, man, it just shows you when you're putting out good energy and you're trying to do something positive, but also like you had someone from the Mid, you made that verse, and you had someone from the Mid who has worked with DJ Quick, and someone who's worked with Mitchie Slick, and it's like to even think that, like, I mean, when you heard
That's
that,
wild.
like how, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, to me, like, it makes me proud to know that you worked with them.
Oh yeah.
And it makes me proud of both of y'all, like the circles that y'all have been in as a fan.
Yeah.
As a fan, I'm not in music, but I'm a fan of all three of y'all. So like, when I heard that, I was just like, damn. And then you had someone from your that grew up there has worked with both of those artists. I know they were big influences like for you, like.
Yeah, no, for sure. Those are like, man, like what I'm talking about on that part is like being on the basketball courts of Fireside and listening to those artists growing up, and like being able to like feel like I'm playing that role too now.
Yeah.
It's a crazy
You have
feeling.
Mitchie on the album.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then I had Mitchie on quite a few songs. Me and John got a song with Mitchie.
Hell yeah.
That's not out yet, but
Yeah, it's not
he
out
over here
yet.
giving out.
We'll just play when it's over. We'll just go ahead and.
Yeah, but no, the thing, like a big thing that I was really interested in sitting down with DJ Rec was like talking to him about like his successes, because he's from the same area, but we're from different like eras.
Yeah.
And at the same time, we are still like successful in our own ways.
You're right.
So to talk to him and be like, damn, like literally, not just be like, oh, you're from Oceanside too, like you're from the same area as me.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's crazy to be able to talk to him.
And even that, like, you were working with Mitchie in the 90s when
Yeah.
you were in high school.
Yep.
And then, like, you worked with Mitchie, like, you also
Now,
brought, he was on the album.
So
man.
it's like a different Mitchie from
Yeah.
when you
Yeah,
started
yeah.
working with him.
Like literally when I was first starting working with Mitchie, like it was
Hey,
it was
Yeah,
it was in the beginning, you know what I'm saying? Like
90
like-
what, 90?
I don't even know, like what, 92 I think I started going down there to Dago, or 93.
So you still in high school.
But wait,
Yeah, I was still in high
what brought
school.
you down to Dago though?
So there was a group that I was producing for called Southbound Players or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
My dude, he was going by Southwest back then, but he goes by Tennessee, and T51, and so I was producing for them, and like in high school, I was trying to figure out everybody's sound, because I had like cats from Philly that went to school with me. You know what I'm saying? And cats that was from Dago.
That's that military.
Yeah, because everybody is a melting pot or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was like trying to make beats that fit everybody's sound. So I was like learning a lot about how certain records sound or whatever, right? So while producing for them, you know what I'm saying? Like we made a bunch of songs. They actually ended up like going out to Dago or whatever with the music or whatever, playing it for people or whatnot, and it caught the ear of one of the homies out there in Dago.
That's an engineer or producer.
Nah, like basically like a record label exec technically from Dago that just like literally like looked out for me like from jump or whatever, my dude LT. So then he basically was like hey, I want you to come down here or whatever and you know what I'm saying, produce for some of the homies out here or whatever. So LT used to have cats drive all the way to Oceanside, pick me up, and drive all the way to Dago with me or whatever. I'm like 16 years old or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And would pay me to work in the studio with him or whatever and just produce tracks for him or whatever, right? And like, coming from Oceanside going to Dago, completely different environments, even though technically back then it was all one. Yeah,
we were all 619
we were all
at that time.
619.
Yeah,
we were all
but even at that
619,
age, that's
Yeah.
a long way to be from home.
Yeah,
It's like 40 minutes.
yeah, it is. But I was like a young little hustler dude. I was
Still sliding.
Yeah, still just
But it's
dipping
still
around.
that 40 minutes.
But it was it was a distance, and everybody over there was like wearing red or whatever. I remember him saying,
That's the
he was like,
part of
I
it.
see. He was like, I see you up in here cripping it. You know what I'm saying? But it's all
Because
good.
blacks out here in Oceanside,
Yeah.
there's few
Yeah.
that you'll see wearing red.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Because I grew up in Mid Valley, so then like my whole being was still like, even though I wasn't an actual banger, like I didn't bang,
Right.
I still was looking
He
like
was
that.
he was just around it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and like, because my last name is Chambliss, like my first DJ name was capital C. So I used to, So I used to wear like an old school. I used to have like an old English hat with DJ capital C on it. You know what I'm saying? It was the 90s. It was the 90s.
Who's this guy?
Look. So I used to run around with a hat with old English letters saying DJ capital C on it.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Some people did think I was probably
Yeah, for sure.
I remember some of the blood
You went to
homies like,
Southeast
all
like
right,
that?
capital B.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like fucking with me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
That's
so he was like, yeah, I see you up in here cripping it, but it's all good. We all about the music. Da, da, da. I was like, nah, I ain't no crip nigga. I'm just from Oceanside. He was like, it's all good, little homie. Like, I was like, no, I'm serious. Like,
That's wild.
you know what I'm saying? So, but back then, like, so I was working with my dude Don Moo, working with Don Diego, but he was Lon Don back then.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a legend
Bitchy
right
Slick. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody, like right off the rip, was all like part of that whole label or whatever. So, and then for a while, LT went away. And then when the studio got put back together, at that point I was probably like 18, 19 or whatever. Maybe a little older. I can't remember exactly what the timeline was because I was just grinding. But then as soon as they built the studio back up, the homie Micah called me and was like, yo, come back through. You know what I'm saying? We just got the studio up. Like, let's get it back cracking. So then I started really being in the studio every day with Slick. You know what I'm saying? And this is before like people even really knew him on some rap
And
stuff.
this was the time of Ice Cream music.
No, it's even way before that. Way before that. Like we had like a record that we did that was like popping in the streets or whatever, like in Dago, called Platinum Dreams. Like it was the very first record that we did that like literally did something like on the streets or whatever. I think I took a
How was that for
Isley
you, bro?
Brothers sample.
But how was that for you though? Like
It
to
was-
be
it
in
was
high
dope.
school, bro, and have like
Well, see, because nobody really knew Mitch like that. So, like, back then, I was just like, I just liked him. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just vibe.
Yeah.
Like, I just kicked it with him on a regular basis, like, on some just, like, that's my homie. that's my Dago homie, you know what I'm saying? So we just be riding around or whatever. And at the time, like, it was kind of risky riding around with Slick. You know what I'm saying? Like, he had told me about, like, an incident where a girl got killed riding in the passenger seat with him. And I'm like, damn, nigga, I'm riding in the passenger seat. You know what I'm saying? Like, but he was just the homie, you know what I'm saying? And we was, like, really just with each other on a regular basis, like, working.
Man, one of the things that, like, all three of y'all, man, like, I remember the first time I seen you perform, bro. It was at Family Fellowship Church.
Right.
In the mid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think you were, like, fresh out of high school.
Yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. And, I mean, I knew who you were because of family and all that, but, like, to see all three of you, like, say, okay, man, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, or this is what and then actually do it. Like, what's that work ethic behind actually executing that? Because I know, like, both of y'all at Oceanside High School were like, y'all started monetizing your talent, making money in high school, saying this is what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life. What is that process?
Gentlemen like us, we're never satisfied.
Just
that's
always
really
working.
all it is, honestly, bro. Rec made my first, like, legit packaged, put in a CD album.
Dang.
The whole
from
thing.
the house. From the
like,
house.
every beat. And, like, he'll like, I know he remembered me just being there. Nah, bro. Like, I need, just, like, constantly irritating him with my requests because I'm never satisfied.
You know, the illest thing, though, is, like, even John in his earliest stages, for real, like, knew what he wanted. You know what I'm saying? Like, knew, and like, working with him, like, always brought out the best in me because I never just made any beats and just gave John beats. Every single track we ever worked on was us together. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was always, come through, bro. And then he come through, and then I'd be like, what are you feeling like today? You know what I'm saying? And then he'll be like,
this man taught me a lot. Like, even to where now in my life, like just seeing how he ran his program at home with his wife and kids, doing music full time, where I'm like, I gotta be just like this. Like, I gotta be able to juggle it all, like, calmly.
And I think you talk about that as discipline, because you're not clocking in, so you have to self-discipline to, like, create your schedule. Like, how has that process to actually be like, okay, because if you don't work, like, your business is not operating that day.
Yeah,
if you're
facts.
not creating, right? Because your music is your business.
Yeah.
Like, what is that like? Trying to execute.
I think that being disciplined is the most important part, next to being unsatisfied, because you're always working. You know, like, I would probably say right now, like, like, low key, like, like, me and the team, we're kind of, like, celebrating. I guess right now we're drinking a little bit, but besides that, like, we never do this. Like, we're always,
y'all
like,
only got the champagne because Rec asked about it.
no. Hey, but
The OG's here, so.
But for real though, it's hard to be like enjoying yourself when you're unsatisfied, bro.
Right.
And that's straight up.
Nah, for real.
Like, it's hard to enjoy yourself when you feel like you're not doing enough. You feel like well, for us it's a little bit like a puzzle because we're doing it independently. So it's like it's not really like blueprints.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like you make those up along with your schedule.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So it's a learning game, bro. We're still learning.
And you, man, the distinctions too, man, because you've been independent pretty much the whole time. Both, you were attached to major labels here and there, right? And you were signed to a major label. Like, what is that like? And now you're independent.
Yeah.
What's the differences between, like, having those experiences, being around the major labels, being a part of the major labels, and then being independent? Because you got your own studio now too.
Yeah.
So, like, what's that been like?
I mean, I started independent.
Yeah.
You know, like, we was sleeping on floors and
Facts. Grinding.
sleeping in cars, on the road. Like, I mean, vans. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, like, I really had to, you know, scratch the wall for a second, and then out of nowhere, you know, a label situation came, and that was an experience too. And it was one of those things where you get around, like, the big dogs, and, like, you actually see them in real time in the studio room, and you're like, damn. Like,
Are you saying damn because of the work ethic, talent, like?
you're saying
It's a little
damn,
bit of
like,
both.
Both, yeah.
I can't believe what I was doing got me here, where I'm seeing like the dudes that y'all see on TV every day are in the same room. I can't believe I'm here. And then at the same time, you're like, am I supposed to be here? Like, this don't really happen to people from
right.
where I'm from. You know what I mean? And then there's a point where you say, you know what, I can't question it. I have to just believe that I'm here for a reason. You know what I mean? And then after that, like after going through that situation and being able to go back independent, I realized that most of the people that get to that top spot aren't happy because of how they're tied so much to this major label and how much this major label is doing them bad in their contractual obligation. You know what I'm saying? So to be able to be in a position now where I can be independent is a blessing to me, because now, you know, it's not so many people basically polluting my passion. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? I be saying that all the time. Like, people don't really understand, like, what getting on really is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, you know, there could possibly be a bigger bag, right? But you lose things in the process.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I know, like, because I know you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, he was
like,
there, like, when it was happening.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you can't be the same artist that you could be on your own when you get signed to a major label. There's a point of that where they need to control their investment.
Yeah.
They give you some money, they want you kind of doing what they want you to do.
They want you to put out what they think is going to sell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Instead of it being just like, we follow what you're already doing, and we know that you already got it popping. We just want to put some money behind what you're already doing. They'd be like, oh, okay, cool. We know you got a following. Now now do what we want you to do or whatever,
and
then
this will
we'll
get you more of a following.
Yeah.
That's the gas.
Yeah. So there's something to the independent thing. Plus, too, like, when dealing with major labels, it's a waiting game a lot of times for your bread. You know what I'm saying?
It's a waiting game for your brand. It's a waiting game for your release date.
Yeah.
Whereas independent,
you can just decide what you
you're
want
with
to do
your
and put it
team
out.
and you're all right. This is our goal, and we're gonna reach our goal.
Right.
And we're gonna do it how we said we're gonna do it. You know what I mean? So I honestly, like, I would tell everybody to just stay independent as long as you can until you have enough leverage
to be independent with a budget.
Where exactly you will be still moving independent, but you have a partnership, a joint venture with somebody, and it's no longer like they're giving you a loan, but they're actually just coming in a partnership with you.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you split those profits 50-50.
That's, I mean, like, watching you stay independent and flood the market. You know what I mean? Because the market, your output's gonna be based off your work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that's one thing that I've appreciated about just like the MadStrange movement.
Yeah.
Because this is just real talk, man. Like, before we got here, these dudes were filming a music video. This store where we're filming at was open for business from like 10 to 7.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so, like, work was taking place. I guarantee when we leave, the team's going to go home and edit this.
Yeah.
They're probably going to print some shirts. You know what I mean? So, like, the work ethic never ends, man. Like, and that's why you're dropping videos. You know what I mean? All the time, dropping videos, dropping songs.
Mm-hmm.
You had damn, man, I'm probably gonna like mess it up. I don't even want to like, but I think you said got to work overtime because nothing's been handed. Got to focus on the product to expand. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about? You know what line I'm talking about?
Yeah, no.
But it's like when I hear that, I'm like, damn, that's real, because that's like, I see it.
Yeah, for the most part, I'll say, you know, building with these young gentlemen, it's been a ride, bro. It's been a roller coaster, and I think that it's built character in all of us, and it's for sure got us like real tough hearts. You know, like we got real hard work ethic, and I think it's because of the whole factor of like being independent and finding things out. You know, always keeping your options open, and just, you know, like not giving up.
And that's one thing I think that's dope about even this like time and space, like
us, that we're in right now,
talking right now, bro. Because like I was telling Rec off camera that I was like, even the MadStrange started at Oceanside High School from a high school student.
That's the crazy.
I've heard you say, man, I the first time I started making music, I had to find my sound. Then I put them on CDs, took it to Oceanside, and I found out I could make some money off this. You were charging dudes to record at the studio at Oceanside High School. You know what I mean? So it was like, I mean, I went to El Camino, so I'm not gonna sit here, but you know, I got kicked out, so you know, whatever. It is what it is. I'm not gonna. But man, to see like, there's so many gems within the city. You know what I'm saying? And seeing
plenty, bro.
And seeing facts,
not even just these three, man.
Right.
You know, it's really like, I mean, some of them are locked away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That really like just with the music alone. You know what I mean? Like really talented people from out of this place. You know what I mean? So I think that's where I get a lot of my inspiration from to even have started doing this for real, was just seeing all the talent that was around. To where it was like, for me, it was like, I don't want to stop.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't want to stop.
It takes you get to a point where it's no longer like you're carrying it for yourself. You're kind of carrying it for other people that believe in you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's a weird feeling. It's kind of like, damn, I really can't give up now.
Yeah.
It's crazy feeling for sure.
What's that pressure
That's
like?
ill.
Like how we was talking about the homie Scrap off camera. Like I remember like a little bit before he passed away, he had told me at a party one time, just like a random party, he's like, bro, you know why people mess with you? He was like, because you kept the game banging out of it. He was like, you represent everybody when you make music. This what he told me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then like that October 31st on Halloween, he passed away. And that was something like after he passed away, those words hit harder.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, I have to keep going, and I cannot ever make it about this section or this section or this. It has to be everybody.
Yeah.
And man, it's dope that you say that, because I've invited you to come like perform for kids in after school programs in neighborhoods that you probably wouldn't have gone to.
Yeah, no.
But you show up and then them kids want to take pictures with you.
Right.
You know what I mean? I've invited both of y'all to come to the programs that we have with the kids, where there's kids that from different neighborhoods.
Yeah.
But y'all show up, man, and y'all come and share your stories, or just sometimes just come and eat. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not even here to share stories. I'm just here to kick it. But I think that goes to show that like the love for the city, but also the bigger picture. And I think you guys are also creating the blueprint for the next generation of artists that are coming out, because from like a visible standpoint, like you two are two of the most visible people that ever come out of the city. And your other aspiring artists can look at that, and you guys have always been about the city, not about like, even though you named a project Fireside, you're naming a project where you grew up, but it was always a bigger picture of how like this translates to Oceanside.
I mean, nobody would ever even know Fireside at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, unless you was from Oceanside. So that's like, that's basically like representing all of Oceanside.
Right.
Yeah.
But even you, man, you being with Quick, like I'm sure like they ask where you're from, and you're like, man, I'm from Oceanside.
I always say Oceanside. I'll say Dago first so that they know that, you know what I'm saying, the region, but I always say Oceanside, because Oceanside is different than like San Diego.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just, we grew up a little bit different. Like even our sound in general sounds completely different.
Explain that.
Well, like so especially back in the day or whatever, right? Like I was producing a lot of cats in Dago, right? So like the Icons, I don't know if y'all know exactly who they are, but they were like one of the biggest like underground hip hop groups back in the day. Rest in peace to Sketch, because he just passed away recently. Them, Mitchie Slick, J.O. Felony, like all of them, J.O. Felony, all those people like my people, right? Every single one of them have a rap style where they basically like they rap a lot of words in a certain amount of bars. Like they got a style where it's kind of like I don't even want to imitate it because I'll sound crazy, but you know what I'm saying? Like they rap a lot of words in bars or whatever. Like even and they're completely different kinds of rap. Like J.O. sound like he sound, Mitch sound like he sound, and Icons were super on some hip hop, dirty drums. You know what I'm saying?
Rapping in that kind of
But
like
they-
triplets flow, but
Exactly.
before it was the triplet
before
flow.
before it was a triplet flow.
Yeah.
But they all sound like that. Like, and it's a lot of other cats too that sound like that too, from Dago,
Yeah.
all around the same time, like
Facts.
like 90s and whatever else, right? And so during that time period, that was their sound. Period. Like Dago be saying like, oh, we don't have a sound. No, that was the sound. Like whether you was gangster rap or hip hop, you was doing the same exact type of rhyme flow.
Right.
Oceanside at the time was completely different. You know what I'm saying? Like I think because of the whole military thing and us
Right.
being from a bunch of like a
Different
melting pot from
places.
different places, and for us being closer to LA, sort of, you know what I'm saying? Like cats, we're trying to make more quote unquote commercial sounding rap. You know what I'm saying? So instead of it being like either super gangster or super underground hip hop, people were kind of making stuff that was like less hard, you know what I'm saying, and more
Universal.
commercial, universal type of sound or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, so cats that even was gangsters back then was still making stuff that sounded a little bit like melodic, like extra musical or whatever. Like, I remember that some of the biggest cats in the town was like my dude Slim and Ghost. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like their whole sound back then was like, and they were dealing with No Sense. I think No Sense was from LA.
Yeah. remember that.
Producer out there, and his stuff sounded like super like high quality production, especially for like back then. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I really be saying a lot of times too, like when it comes to production and sound quality and all that kind of stuff, like you never really know exactly where you are if you're just working on music yourself until you start going to
Other
LA.
places, yeah.
Like the only reason I say LA, not like they just make better, music or nothing. It's because of the fact that like a lot of those cats that live in LA are either kids of
It's
big
a
musicians.
Mecca. It's just a mecca for
It,
music.
it is definitely a mecca, but I'm like either they're like kids of big musicians from before, either they grew up being around big studios, the sound quality that they are used to already is like from bigger studios because they have like a ton of outlets out there. You know what I'm saying? Like you never know exactly where you're at until you start like measuring your stuff against other
Facts.
sounds.
No facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and because I was producing all this stuff or whatever right here in Oceanside, like against everything that was like in my immediate area.
Yeah.
But when I started going up there, working with my dude G1 and being around Quick and all that stuff, like I started like hearing how much either my stuff sounded like as good as their stuff, or clarity wise, I started learning like, oh, I need to do this, or oh, they run their music through this, or you know what I'm saying? Like I remember like having industry meetings or whatever, like with label execs, and it was like, yo, you got some shit, bro.
Yeah.
But your sound volumes ain't really there. You need to. And then he'd be like, you see what your stuff sounds
what's
like?
crazy?
Now that's dope. Now let me play you what I'm. And then he plays something and it's extremely loud or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, you see how loud I gotta turn your stuff up to? And I'm like, oh, okay. Now I gotta master all my stuff before I bring it to a meeting.
That's what they was telling me when I first came out there to LA myself. In my generation, they telling me like, this is good, but like the beats need to hit.
Yeah.
Like they need to hit. And like over here, we laid back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we laid back. I think that's one thing about just San Diego in general.
Yeah.
But I mean, even in Oceanside, just being that it's called Oceanside, like
Yeah.
we're like you listen to Southeast artists, like they're not as close to the beach as we are.
Yeah.
So like our mood is laid back. in a sense of music, I feel like just because you can hear the ocean.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like you can hear it. Just like you can feel the breeze hit the valley.
Yeah,
like
Ryan say,
you
barely
chilling,
seen the beach.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know what I mean? Where for us, it's like you can literally drive 8 minutes and you there. You know what I mean? So it's like from the valley. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like with that, it's two sides of the coin because I feel like we're a gem within the San Diego County. Like our music just sound different than San Diego City.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of that coin, just being a part of the county, I think that overall our sound is so laid back that somewhere like LA doesn't necessarily take it and appreciate it.
They don't understand it yet, probably.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the biggest artists that came out of this area, period, so far, have been, Mitchie Slick and J.O.
Well,
but
hold on,
you know what I'm saying?
The new generation,
yeah. I mean, when I say the new generation, I'm sitting with
the
both
only
of the
nigga I didn't
guys.
seen go
You know what I'm
platinum
saying?
out of this area is Rob Stone.
Yeah. That's my guy. Rob Stone is dope.
And even that song that he went platinum off of was laid the fuck back.
Facts.
So I just think that we should hone into that for real, like our laid back sound, but just still make it hit, like make it punch. Like,
what you think about that?
He's already doing that.
Yeah.
He's already doing that, bro. There's a time. Let me tell you about this time. You wasn't even there, but the homies is in here to vouch for me with this. We was driving to Six Flags one day, and what was the song we was playing from this fool? No. Was Mitchie on the song? Allegations.
That is hard.
Nigga, you got us kicked out of Six Flags.
Oh God, bro.
Hey, bro.
Six Flags.
Bro, we got into Six Flags, right? We put on Allegations.
Which is a hard track, bro.
Man.
We got into Six Flags. Like, you know how you drive through the little gate, pay your little, and then, so we put on Allegations. Now we ghost riding the whip. To the
outside the whip.
Yeah, going crazy. Like, bro got on the
He on the hood.
I got scared. He got on the hood. I got scared. I hit the brake. This nigga damn near flew off the hood, right? So at that point, somebody called on us. Like because it just looked tragic. Like it looked crazy for a second. Like, cause bro, like literally did a plank on the hood, bro. Allegations bumping. You know what I mean? Wow. And then the security came up behind the car, was like, all right, everybody can go in except the driver. I was the driver.
Jake.
So nobody went in.
Allegations though.
That's crazy.
That's
They
wild.
made allegations, but I just want to say, like, bro, like that was a moment that we'll never forget. Us
Yeah.
with music from our section. You know what I'm saying? Like, where it's like people don't embrace that song like we do, as far as the world is concerned. But I understand what you're saying in that song, and I also understand the vibe of it, like how it's still laid back, but it hits to me. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like he doing that already. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Dezzy has been consistent in making songs that, like EBT Boy, like these songs that will hit, but they still laid back. He not yelling in the track.
Not at all.
He not over enunciating nothing.
Yeah.
He just talking and shit.
I think for the most part, I'm always gonna keep it the same way I am in person.
Yeah.
Like I sound the same way on record. You
For
know.
sure.
I never have to like force it. I don't force anything, especially when I'm writing too. It's the same way. Like if I have to force my writing for a song, I'm gonna skip it. I'm gonna work on something else.
Damn.
You know, there's always something to work on. But if you're gonna force it, it's a no go. Don't do it.
Yeah.
If you're gonna force it, it's gonna come out bad, and then you're gonna end up re-recording this. It's more work. But
For
no,
sure.
you shouldn't have to force anything. And for me, it's like
yeah,
staying
man.
natural on the microphone is like the best way to do it, man.
Man, you know what's so
Yeah.
dope? Me as a fan, because I'm just a fan, bro. Watching you, hearing you talk about him that way, and then
bro.
even like when we're off camera and you like appreciating him, because I think a lot of times from the outside looking in, people are like, "Oh yeah, their competition against one another."
I don't
They
look
don't
at it like that.
Yeah,
I
right.
don't look at nobody from this area as competition to me. I look at everybody and I'm like, man, you know what? That's what's up.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's what's up. No matter what people say, or put in the air, like, nobody from this area is my competition. Now, people from out of this area, for sure, that's competition. But people from this area is motivation. I don't care if it's somebody who just started. It's just gonna make, all right, bet I gotta keep on going. I gotta make sure you know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta make sure everything I'm doing is on point, because this person's on point, and this person's on point, and this person's on point, and we're all from the same section. Yeah. But as far as competition, that's where I look at somebody from like a Long Beach,
right?
And I'm like, well, who's if this team, Mitchie put this together actually in my mind, where he was saying, like, if it was a starting lineup, you know what I'm saying? Well, who's our starting lineup from Oceanside? You know what I mean? Like, who's playing center? Who's playing point guard? Who's playing shooting guard? You know what I'm saying? Like, who's playing strong forward? Like, all that. You know what I'm saying? To where it's like, everybody from over here, I feel like we're all on the same team in a sense where it's like, even if we're not always working together, or I don't feel like we have to always work together for us to be on the same team. I feel like it's literally just we're working and we're from the same area, and anything that we do is going to put this area on the map. Anything that anybody from this area does is going to put this area on the map. And I feel like anybody from another area, that's who we compete with.
Right.
Like, I feel almost basically the exact same way. Like, I don't really think about competition at all, to be honest. Like I just do whatever I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? And I just be focused on me. And if anybody else is working with me on anything, if it's all love, like, I'm always just trying to help whoever it is get better in their own little thing. If I got something to offer, you know what I'm saying? Like I have no competition but myself. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like,
it should be.
You know what I'm saying? And but
I'm
always on some.
I'm competing with certain like I just feel like we slept on, like, as a whole. You feel me? Like,
facts though. But I mean, people like
J. Cole to come here and say, "Oh, you niggas are trash out here." Like, oh, that's not facts, bro.
Yeah, it's definitely
not.
What
I mean?
But
like,
see, that's
no
the thing.
disrespect to a Cole or anything like that.
Oh,
but
yeah.
It's like, bro, you say something like that, and it's like, bro, nah.
He actually said that.
Nah, this is what I mean. I'm not sure if it actually came out of his mouth.
Yeah.
But they said he came to a club out here, performed, and said somebody gave me a CD out here. Oh, I feel like y'all niggas is trash out here. Like, y'all can't rap in San Diego.
Yeah, he got the wrong CD.
To where I'm like,
maybe the guy was trash.
Maybe. But you don't.
Don't put us all in a box.
It's bigger than trying to compete with somebody out here. It's like, no, we have to make sure that they know this section over here get busy.
And I think that's the only way you can have a movement is you have multiple people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Getting busy.
Yeah.
Because then it looks at it
they
like,
see he gets busy and he gets busy and he gets busy, and they're gonna say this area gets busy.
Yeah.
And then when they come to this area, they have to show respect, and that's what I'm on.
Yeah.
And when we talk about when someone hit me up and they asked me when we said what's the culture of like an Oceanside, it's pretty much what you said, man. Like we have this underdog type of like mentality because we feel like.
I mean, even San Diego kind of shun us.
Right. Because that's when people ask where you from. Say I'm from Oceanside.
How you feel about that? How you feel about that? How you feel about the divide between San Diego, the city, and then Oceanside being in the county, which is the second biggest city within the county? Am I wrong?
It's a third.
Third?
But it's third, but it's close second.
Who's
Chula
second?
Vista.
You know what? That makes fucking sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That's a big ass place.
Yeah, but no, we're close. We're a close second.
Yeah. How you feel about that though?
I would say that sounds about right.
Yeah.
That sounds about right. We are a distance away from San Diego, and I think that we have different the city has different characteristics in San Diego.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's okay. Like, you know, like we are separate, you know, and for them to act that way, like they have a right to act that way.
Right.
And I think we have a right to act our way.
Yeah.
You know, and we're super proud to be where we're from. And I think that you know, things are gonna be how they're gonna be, and that's just how it's gonna be.
You know what's so wild though is, I remember back in the day, like I was like the only dude from Oceanside that any of them niggas rocked with.
But that's the thing. That's the thing.
You
That's
know
why
what
I
I'm
call you
saying?
the alchemist though, because like you really can like you be all things to all men. You know what I'm saying? Like
For sure.
you know, I didn't even meet Rec as a producer, bro, because I don't do music. I met Rec as like, man, this dude is an entrepreneur and he's an amazing husband, an amazing father, and seeing how he was with his kids.
Yeah, bro.
Like that's how. Like me, that's our relationship,
sure.
you know what I'm saying? And so it's like it's based off of like life.
Yeah, he's a solid
Right.
character.
I never been in the studio with him. I've never even seen him work. You know what I'm saying? Like this is just a homie
This
based
my
off
guy.
of like family.
Yep.
You know, and so it's like you're right, bro.
It's
Because
same
it's
in
just
every
like,
room.
and he'd give me game as far as how to be a good father. Like I'm like, bro, how do you be like working and you have like he's like, no,
Look, he already be on.
Rec.
He be on his stuff. He be on
Hey,
his
this
stuff.
man Rec, how many times he be like, hey, bro, you don't want to do that. Nah, you don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a really solid factor, and
I
just
appreciate you.
to hear your experience with him, to hear my experience with him, just confirm it for me, because we had two different experiences with him at two different times.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where it's like, oh, bro, you validating my hustle right now. You validating my hustle. You know what I mean? As far as like what I'm trying to put my goals towards, you're validating it, and you can also validate it. You can stamp it because you did it first. You know what I'm saying? And you did it consistently. And now I've come into contact with you enough to like do it as well. You know what I mean?
But you know what though? It's wild though. Like, I always, cause before you was John Givez, you'd like J Stacks.
Yeah, J Stacks.
Like we.
But that was just some street shit.
Look,
that wasn't even like.
Yeah,
That wasn't even like. That was just John. It's like,
Right,
that was just some street shit. That was just like the nigga that was doing hooks for niggas like
exactly.
in the garage.
Look,
for
before I ever actually worked with him. Like I had met him a couple times, and then I had did one record with Cap and Carnage, and you came through to the studio and did the hook on it, and I was like,
My bad.
yo, I was like, yo, he dope. I was like, yo, he dope. Da-da-da-da-da. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then,
I was a little nigga at that
yeah,
time.
very much so. But even that record right now, though, is a slapper.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like way before you was, coming to the world as John Givez. You know
before
what
I
I'm
was
saying?
rapping.
Yeah.
And I'm back on this R&B wave.
I love
y'all
it.
Get that, you know what I'm saying? So y'all get your raps off, man. I got the hooks. You know what I'm saying? Dezzy Hollow, you know what I'm saying? He finna get this rap shit going. You know, I'm back on my R&B thing. I might come back to
that.
rap soon, later, but... Yeah.
You always straddle the line back and forth between rap and
but
R&B.
I'm
like
heavy on this.
You heavy on
R&B
R&B
right now. I'm heavy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, heavy on the R&B.
Yeah. Look, I feel like cats from Dago, they know who is who. They know what Oceanside is. They know, like...
They have to.
Yeah. I remember bringing Slick out here, like, way back in the day before it was, like, even... Before Cats Out Here was rocking with him. The only person that niggas really knew from Dago that was out here in Oceanside was, like, Green Eyes... Because they were selling at the swap meet, you know what I'm saying?
That's where everybody used to get their music from.
Yeah, Repo. Yeah.
Have you seen? Nah, we'll talk about that later.
Okay. Yeah, Repo Rick was the one like putting everybody on. Big June had a big record out here. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my nigga Big June.
That was cool.
Yeah. I just seen him a little while ago too. I was just with him.
Yeah.
And like so, Slick was like literally like. I was in the studio with him every day, and he, at the time, he was like trying to push one of his other homies, Lil Fatal, who was dope. You know what I'm saying, back then too, and so he was like, yeah, I'm trying to put the little homie on. Like, let's take some of his tapes out there. I want to come out there where you at. You know what I'm saying, push some tapes. And I was like, all right, I'll like come through. You know what I'm saying, like I'll take you out here with me. And then I was like, now I'm gonna let you know ahead of time. You know what I'm saying, like
what year is this?
This is like, it was early 2000s, like 99, 2000s, like super early. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But like, I like let them know, like, yeah, man, let's slide through with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll let you know what's popping. I'll take you to all the spots or whatever, to the Endo, the different barbershops, all that kind of stuff or whatever, and get the music up in there. And I was like, I'm gonna let you know ahead of time though, like, you know, Dago is different than Oceanside. Like, it's likely that, you'll get banged on or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Something might, you know what I'm saying? But I'm going to be with you, so ain't nothing going to happen. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't going to take you to nothing dangerous, you know what I'm saying? Like, and so I took him out here or whatever, and that exact thing happened. You know what I'm saying? Huh? Well, yeah, he got banged on a little bit, but because of the kind of the character he is, you know what I'm saying? Like it didn't go nowhere. Like, you know what I'm saying? The dude just was trying to test him or whatever, and he ended up still making the bread. Like, the dude tried to, like, press him a little bit, looked in the car and was like, y'all ain't no, you know what I'm saying? Like, try to get at him on some crazy shit. And he was like, hey, homie, we just out here trying to sell these tapes, nigga, you know, da-da-da-da. And he was like, oh, okay. And he came out of the pocket and paid him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now, Mitch was mad afterwards, you know what I'm saying? But he got the bread, though, and, you know what I'm saying? And because he's a businessman, like I knew from jump, though, like the type of person he is, like, he can go anywhere. That's one of the reasons why he be doing that whole Mitchie Slick is everywhere thing. Because he knows how to navigate, you know what I'm saying, around the place.
One time, and he gave it up to yourself and
me.
Yeah. He was like, you know, he gave it up. Like he called me on the phone. He was like, you know, I respect what you and Dezzy doing out there. He was like, you really putting on for whole San Diego. Wait, so for him to say that on the phone, it was like, you know, this dude is real. Like, for him to be so tapped in to where, like, you know, we not really reaching out or thirsty to get his attention. Yeah. But he's still just watching and saying, like, you know what, nah, I see what y'all doing and I like it.
Like I told you before, like, he had hit me way before, and like, yo, I like your dude that you work with, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's do something with him.
I think it's important, man, to pass that on too, because understanding, like, where you guys are, you know what I mean? Like, the impact that you calling somebody and saying, man, I just want to let you know I see what you're doing. The impact of you calling somebody saying, man, I see what you're doing. Y'all have that same
power right now,
right? To the next generation.
It don't even be feeling like that.
That's because you are you.
Do you feel that? Do you feel like you have that power right now?
I wish I did.
I don't feel like I have that power. Right,
you know, like Dezzy be so awesome. Y'all got power right now. Let me go ahead, bro. I see you.
Nah. But I'm coming from a point from, man, like, being a fan. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I'm a fan. I'm not in the industry. I feel it. No, but I'm saying as a fan, man, I'm telling you right now that y'all do, man, because y'all got people out here obviously buying your guys' music, listening to your music, and they want to do music same way that y'all grew up listening to Mitchie.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, y'all, I know it may not feel like that to y'all, but it's like there's people out here that, man, you guys have that level of influence and understanding that level of influence, man. And I think
by far,
yeah, man, because y'all carrying the flag, at least for the city. And I think in the past 5-6 years, like, you guys have transcended. As far as in my generation, I haven't seen anyone do what you guys have done for the city the way that you guys have in the past.
Besides Junior Seau.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. No, but I mean, like, from the platform that you guys are on, from your, I mean, at least from. Obviously, you've had a bigger vantage point because you've worked with a lot more artists.
I mean, this man is, like I said, the alchemist, and we will never forget it.
Oh,
protect man, DJ Rec at all times.
This guy is hilarious.
My God, it's good to have this man here right now.
Man, you almost got killed, man. I don't know if you want to talk
too
much.
DJ Rec at all times.
Look, man. Things happen, bro.
You've been through a lot, man.
Yeah, but you know, like, I be feeling like even that situation or whatever, right? When you're young, you don't really be thinking about if situations are dangerous or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, and in that, where I was at when that whole thing went down, it was not a dangerous place. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, at least from my vantage point, like, I didn't think it was a dangerous place. The situation just happened off of beef with one other person that was part of our, like, that was one of my friends, and some other people that we didn't even know. You know what I'm saying? Like, his situation, he didn't really know how serious it was either, because we had a conversation, like, before the situation went down. Like, And we kind of like laughed and kind of joked about it. Like we didn't even think it was a serious situation, but obviously what we think is serious and what another niggas think is serious is different. You know what I'm saying? So I guess they came through trying to lay everybody down that they seen, and I just happened to get shot right along with two of my homies. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, Butchie and Swifty.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy, like when he told me this story, because I never, like when we would be on tour. I don't know if you remember this, bro, but you used to have to patch up your leg sometimes while we was on tour.
Still.
I'd be like, bruh, like what, like, and then you finally told me like what happened. You know what I mean? I'm just like, bro, that was all for the love of music. You know what I'm saying? Like he was there for music.
Yeah.
You were in the studio?
Yeah, I was in the studio when the whole thing went down or whatever. But I don't even think technically that they even, because they probably didn't know anything about what was going on behind the because the house was a really, really big house. You know what I'm saying? From the front, it looked like just a regular ass house.
Right.
But from the actual inside of the house, it had like all these multiple rooms, and then it had like a whole back house built that we had built the whole studio in. And me and my partner had just moved out of the studio that we had in Santee. We like broke it all down, and in transition, we were like, let's just build a studio back here. You know what I'm saying? And then until we find a new building. So we built a booth in there. We had artists coming through there 24/7. And we were recording there. So then at one late night, we had like it's the funniest thing because we had the dude was like a 50-year-old rapper. Right? Like he was rapping on some like black power, like black power to the people, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To the hip
He was a
hop.
poet. He was
Yeah.
a poet on the beat.
That dude probably never rapped another day in his life after that night, bro. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
He was probably like, damn, all this rap ish, you know what I'm saying? After that whole situation went down. But we were in there like showing them like records or whatever, mixing stuff or whatever, and like showing them mixes, showing them beats. Because it was his first night coming to the studio. And then out of the blue, it was like a loud boom, right? And so I'm like, what the hell was that? So I grabbed the master fader and pulled it down on the board, and I'm listening. And then it just sounded like a bunch of scurrying around. Then it was like, pow, 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 pow. A bunch of shots going off, right? And so then we're all like, oh, shit, they're shooting in the house. Now, of course, like, you know, there was pistols, like, you know, in the house, you know what I'm saying? But because of how they were going off, we could tell, like, it ain't like one of the homies, like, shooting at somebody that just came in. It was definitely, like, somebody shooting coming in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you could just tell, you know what I'm saying?
It sounded like some assault shit.
It sounded, exactly, because it wouldn't be that kind of consecutive, like, it was just a lot. So then all of us just took off running to the sliding glass door. And we all ran to the sliding glass door or whatever, right? And I was the lucky one that got the door unlocked. You know what I'm saying? Like, the thing is, the house was like wide open. Like, we had our door open, you know what I'm saying, from the living room to that room. You know what I'm saying? And because we were just in there, like, you know, relaxed, chilling. And my nigga Butchie that just came in there, like, he came in there to say what's up. He had just made it to the house right then. Like, he went and did classes and whatever else. He was going to Southwestern. He had just came in to say, hey, you know what I'm saying? Hey, what's up, bro? I just came in to say what's up. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to go in here and do my homework or whatever. Oh, my God, what's good with you, bro? Da, 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 da. And then, you know, that was the last I seen of him, you know what I'm saying? Because he was in the room when everybody bust in. And so, like, literally, we all took off running to the sliding glass door. We're looking back as we're, like, trying to get the door unlocked because that hallway and the door is wide open. And I just ended up unlocking the door, and I slide the sliding glass door to the side, and I take off running, right? And now my partner at the time, my partner right now, he grabs me kind of like on some, like look out there first type ish, but I'm in panic mode. I'm like, niggas are shooting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I like, nigga, get off me. You know what I'm saying? And I take off running into the backyard. And as soon as I ran into the backyard, there's a nigga there. You know what I'm saying? That just came out the other door, the other back door. You know what I'm saying? Blacked all the way up with every, you know, like black gloves, black mask, black everything. You know what I'm saying? Like the nigga could be sitting right in here. I wouldn't know who the fuck the nigga was. You know what I'm saying? Like he as soon as he seen me, it was like, oh, I'm gonna have to kill him too. That kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm running. I don't even know what's going on. For real, you know what I'm saying? Like I had no idea what's going on. This dude sees me. He had a big ass shotgun. He's running toward me. I'm going, what's going on? What's going on? Oh, don't shoot, don't shoot. And as soon as he like put the gun up to shoot me while he's running, I tried to like pull a juke move at the last minute and I slipped and fell. So to me, that was God saving me, bro. Yeah. Like I have no doubt in my mind, you know what I'm saying? Because it could have been my face or my chest or whatever. Like I tried to pull a juke move literally a second before he pulled the trigger and it caused me to slip. So then, because it was like muddy and wet in the backyard. So when I did that, when I tried to pull that move or whatever, I slipped and so I landed on my back and my legs was in the air. So it was like, boom, hit me like right as soon as that happened or whatever. And then I flipped and was rolling around in the mud or whatever. Dude thought he killed me too and just took off running. You know what I'm saying? Like hit me and just kept on running. And I actually thought I was dead. Like I thought when I got shot, like that was it. You know what I'm saying? I remember taking my last breath and everything going, I'm dead. And then when I
stop breathing.
And then when I inhaled again, I was like, oh shit, I'm alive or whatever. So then I just laid there for a minute and I was like, let me just sit here and because like who knows who else is still in the house. Let me just lay here and make sure ain't nobody else coming out the house first. So I just laid there in the mud and waited for a while. And then when I didn't see anybody else coming out the house and all that stuff, then I looked up and like I looked down and whatever. And I thought he took my whole leg off. You know what I'm saying? Because it was like my pant leg was all flat in the mud and it was still smoking. Like it was like smoke all in the air, smoke coming from my leg. I was like, damn, this nigga done took my whole leg off. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I got up on my one leg. That was
right? It was a
shotgun.
Spreading your leg.
Yeah, look, my shit, it was janky. It was toe up. So I got up on my good leg and I hopped closer to the house or whatever. And then when I fell, I just slid myself into the bushes or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And then my partner comes outside and he's like, Rick! You know what I'm saying? Like, trying to find me. Oh, I'm laughing about it now because I'm alive. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I mean, certain parts of it, because to me, like, the only part of that situation that I would change is literally, like, wishing that my friends wouldn't have died.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? For me, it taught me something. Because before that situation, I was like a nigga running around thinking I was invincible. Like I used to be getting into fights all the time, fights at the club, like any old random nigga do some old extra shit and say something to me. I'm like, hey, what's happening then, homie? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I was like that, even though I was like always I was always on some cool, smiling, kicking it, whatever. But then I would never take disrespect. So as soon as somebody would, I feel like, come at me in any kind of aggression, I would immediately take it there. You know what I'm saying? So I was always like feeling like I was invincible. Like I got threatened to get shot many times, like through growing up. You know what I'm saying? But ain't nobody ever do nothing to me. So I'm up here thinking like I'm invincible. That situation changed my whole way of thinking. I literally was like, oh. So I don't have to do nothing to die. I could literally be in the wrong place, the wrong time, deal with the wrong person, be in one wrong incident and get killed. It could be over like in an instant. You know what I'm saying? If I just make one of the wrong moves. So like that situation taught me a lot. Like it made me move completely different. Like right now, like I live a completely different kind of life. I don't get so aggressive or amped up. I take every single situation like, do I have to go there with this person? Or could I just kind of like let this situation go and then it'll die out? You know what I'm saying? Or do I, you know, like it just made me think of everything different. And like from that situation, like that's kind of like how I, like married my wife. You know what I'm saying? Like I literally was in the middle of that while dating her, and I was dating other chicks at the same time or whatever, but just like casual dating. But that's when I knew like who was for me and who wasn't. Because she was there in the hospital every single day through my 30 days of healing, you know what I'm saying? When she had all kinds of other stuff going on, you know what I'm saying? Church, school, work, all this other stuff or whatever. She made sure that she was there at the hospital for me every single day, while the other, you know, females that I was talking to kind of was like sporadic, bringing me stuff, and then they dip, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I was like, yo, she's solid, you know what I'm saying? And she was actually supposed to come to the studio that night, and thank God she didn't. You know what I'm saying? She had dozed off or whatever and didn't make it to the studio that night. So, like, to me, you know, like, hard head make a soft ass, they say. You know what I'm saying? Like, so for me, literally, that incident taught me a whole lot and changed my life in a positive way, even though I got injured and damn near died. You know what I'm saying? Like, so the only thing I would change is if I could bring my homies back. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like neither one of them, that shouldn't have been their fate. You know what I'm saying? Like my dude Swifty, like he was such a good dude, and like he just got caught up in a situation that was just like a random thing. You know what I'm saying? Like he was literally, I was with him like on a regular basis, you know what I'm saying? Like working on music with him, kicking it with him. One of the things I never even told anybody, this little thing or whatever, right? But I actually, before that incident happened, like a couple days before that, he seen my wife, who's now my wife or whatever. He seen her come to the studio and kick it with me or whatever, and he was like, yo, he told me like, yo, that one right there, she's solid. He was like, that one's the one. He told me that like a couple days before he passed, before that whole incident happened and he passed. You know what I'm saying? And and he was right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, 13, 14 years later, you know what I'm saying? And my dude Butchie, he was such a good dude too. Like I'd known him, you know, through his whole like adult life, you know what I'm saying? Like, and he was just a solid cat. So it was just like things go down in the hood, like, you know what I'm saying? Where you never really kind of know what could happen.
I think, man, that's an important lesson, man. That even with the youth that I work with, bro, it's like, man, you're not invincible, but I can't tell you that you have to go through your process of figuring out something's gonna happen if you keep pushing this line or living this lifestyle that's gonna teach you that you're not invincible. But I just hope that it's something you can learn from, and it's not something you can turn back.
I remember the first few times like cats got killed over some gang stuff during high school, and coming to school and seeing everybody crying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it was like damn, he got shot last night. Yeah. Like, damn, that's crazy.
And they start putting the cups up on the fence with their names.
Yeah, like shit wild, man.
Yeah.
Shit wild. I remember one of my homegirls, Michelle Tate. She, like, I grew up with her and her brothers and everybody, Reggie, and at the Boys and Girls Club. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And she was out there in the valley one night or whatever, and I guess she got caught in the crossfire and got killed. Mm-hmm. And it was just like such a shock because she was just she was like a female that wasn't like banging or nothing, you know what I'm saying, but got killed, you know what I'm saying, and it was like, damn, what? Like that kind of stuff goes down, like, and it's shocking, but then at the exact same time, you're kind of like, that's the kind of stuff that happens.
And it's crazy, man, because all of our generations, because we're all from different eras, are defined by certain murders. You know what I'm saying? Like, this murder popped off, like you said earlier, that's when it was a time it was very active, because some people had just, like, got killed, some factors that got killed from both sides. And we can all talk about different people, man, that we know that have, you know, passed away, and what it develops after that. And you hear it in both of your music. I mean, and you know, you guys rap about it a lot. Yeah. And I think that's why the city has rocked with you guys so much, because it's like, you guys talk about it, but the way you process it too. You know, like, it's like we have processed those emotions with y'all. And even though you guys are younger than me, I can listen to your music and process my own, like, experiences of growing up in Oceanside and the friends that I've lost, even though that you guys don't know who they are, or maybe some of them, but it's just, it hits. Because it just shows you, like, a lot of this stuff continues to happen. It's just a cycle. Yeah. You know? And I think that's why that Fireside project was so dope. Because it was like we were processing your childhood and what you had gone through. Soul Rebel did the same. It was like, it took us on this, like, if you were from Oceanside, those albums were just going to hit different. Because you guys were naming streets. You were naming even some of those incidents, some of those murders that took place. You guys were talking about it. From being in close proximity with the people who y'all lost, and how that murder or that loss or that person going to prison changed the trajectory of your life.
For sure. You
know what I mean? Where it was like, man, I'm going to do this music thing.
For sure.
You know, and I'm going to put on for the city this way versus, like, push a line.
See, the thing is, like, any one of us could have been in a gang. Any one of us could have gotten shot and killed in any situation. Like, because our environment really kind of would help that happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're basically just the anomalies that didn't go all the way there. Like, we figured out something slightly different and didn't take it all the way there. But it's been times or whatever that, of course, every single one of us probably crossed a line where it could have happened. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like,
wrong place, wrong time.
Wrong place, wrong time.
Around a crowd of just, you know, your peers, where you're not thinking it's dangerous. You just around your peer group.
Right.
And something happens.
I have a theory too that I almost feel like every single time somebody gets killed from gunfire, like getting shot or whatever, I almost think that it's always a surprise to them. Like, they're like either taking it in on some, is it that serious? Or, oh, this is it. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I can't see anybody saying that it
escalates to that.
Exactly. I can't see anybody taking it like as in like they expected it to come. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's very weird.
It's an escalation where it's like you wasn't prepared for that person to take it that far.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you knew it was coming, but you just didn't know when.
Yeah. Yeah. Either way, it's sad. I damn near want to change the subject. You know what I'm saying? Like, right, it is heavy stuff. Yeah. Yeah, man. But thank God we're all here. You know what I'm saying?
Thank God DJ Rex showed up today.
I appreciate you. Of course I was going to come through, you know what I'm saying? Y'all hit me. I'm like, yo.
Nah, man, it's love.
I rock with y'all.
You know, the last one?
Yeah, we can bust it.
As you right there.
I got to use the bathroom, too.
For sure.
There's going to be a lot of editing on this one.
A lot of editing on this one.
Facts.
Yeah, Macho's like, fuck, wow.
He's like, oh,
Macho.
You know what it was, bro?
This was about to be over a long time ago.
Champagne.
Yeah.
We spilled drinks like 4 times. Hey, when they were out there hitting the switches, Rec was like, man, what the hell's going on out there, bro?
This is loud.
I don't know if he got on camera. If you got it on camera, but they're hitting the switches, and he's looking at me like, hey, man, like,
what are they doing?
I told him like 3 times. Hey, bro, it's just.
I was like, no, that's hydraulics.
It's hydraulics.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
it's not a.
That's not gunfire. I can tell the difference.
Right.
I got this bathroom too, man. I've gone through like 3 energy drinks.
Really?
Yeah, bro.
Jeez.
Hey, he drank a Bang and a Celsius. Bro.
He about to be up. He gonna be waking his wife up like.
If you're up longer than 4 hours,
Hey,
go to
wake
the
her up
doctor,
anyway,
bro.
Really about to take it there. Really about to take it back to Chevy and Pilots and family functions. The Hennessy days of hooping before all the gang of junctions. $5 to get a minute to spot me Sunday I'm munching. It used to be catching phase, now my lyrics only thing punching. It's all a facade. Chip on my shoulder, my grandma told me draw closer to God. High school pictures, 1,000 words and a round of applause. Back when an issue over a bitch get you socked in the jaw. Seemed like yesterday we hopping fences and running from law. I ripped the package off the Chronic 2001, I was 8. Influence a way of living, pursuing for something great. It's hustling for a living, who knew about living straight?
From the valley to the beach, bringing riding through the streets. They might do